Hello everyone and welcome to Lipnox VR. Today we're talking about Everslaught, a brand new Steam PC VR game, and I'm playing it on my Oculus Quest 2 using Virtual Desktop. Let's get into it. So Everslaught is an action RPG. The creators were kind of influenced by the Diablo style of looting and fast-paced action kind of action RPG games, but this is first-person VR. We have melee combat as our main focus, but we also have a hookshot and we also have a gun as well. And there's some special abilities to the weapons, so let me show you what this actually looks like. One thing I really like getting into this is we have an amazing feature to recalibrate the hands, so no issues regardless which controller you're using, and it also has an ability to recalibrate the height. The height recalibration seems to level it more the area with you, not so much change your height in the game, and you cannot use OVR Advanced for whatever reason as a play space mover to get your height the way you want it. So if you are sitting, it does feel like you're a little bit low to the ground, but it is completely playable while sitting. So in here, we're kind of this our hub area, and there's weapons on the wall. Those are my weapons that I've sort of saved up. We also have this ability to buy new weapons, and we can also gamble, because if we lose while we're doing our whatever thing, we have no weapon. Whatever weapon we have on us is destroyed. So if we die, it's not a good thing. I've only died once so far, but believe me, when it happens and you lose that super powerful weapon you have, it kinda hurts. Thankfully, this game is plentiful on weapons, so it's not too big of an issue. I will also say there is no smooth turning, this is snap turning, but otherwise this is full locomotion, and we do have the R trigger serving as like a dash thing, so you press the R trigger to jump, and you press it in a direction, you can dash in different directions, which lets you quickly navigate around the level, and we also have, like I mentioned before, the hookshot. The hookshot has little like areas, little, I don't know what you would call them, little faces, the suns on them you can lock onto, and you can also lock onto enemies. So it does make for a very fast-paced, almost like classic Doom action, but with melee weapons in this medieval style. So these areas are procedurally generated, and you're gonna see a lot of stuff sort of rehash as you play more and more. This is early access, so I imagine these environments will be a lot more varied as time goes on, and perhaps will be new styled environments. When you start the game off, there is a opening, roughly 30 to 40 minutes where you do have like a linear outside part, and you're sort of going through and it's giving you the hookshot, it's giving you the gun part. And with that being said, those parts do look more impressive graphically than when you're actually in the dungeon themselves. So keep that note. I'm not going to show that part because I want to leave you guys with a little bit of surprise, and this kind of game, there's a lot of seeing the same thing over and over again when you're procedurally generating worlds like this. I don't know how much variety there is, but that's that. Getting into the combat itself though, we have some serious gore, but it is a little bit of like waggling. So you can sort of waggle around. As you get more powerful weapons though, I found myself sort of 2 swings was getting most of the enemies, and it gives me a good satisfying death scene thing, and you can also punch them too. With the hookshot, you sort of can lock on and push yourself towards them and punch them, and that does a ton of damage. And I kind of do a quick up-down swipe, and that takes out most of the enemies, except for these big axe guys. So we'll wait till we get to them, but they require a little bit more strategy. Okay, here's one right now. So those big axe guys, which I seem to be skipping past here, but the big axe guys, you kind of have to hit them a couple times, then back away, hit them a couple times, back away, hit them a couple times, back away. And the other thing too, with the gun, you can't just shoot unlimited bullets. You kind of build up blood points by taking out the enemies with melee weapons. I've upgraded my character. There is a class-based leveling up system where you have 3 directions you can sort of put points in, and I'll show you when we get to that what that actually looks like, because that'll be at the end of this little area here. But when you're fighting these guys, you're kind of in, out, battling them, and it's not super complicated, but it makes for more complex gameplay to kind of mix it all up. You also have these bow and arrow guys, and there's guys that'll explode too that very much remind me of the headless guys from Serious Sam. You know what, this game kind of has some Serious Sam vibes too. You also have these treasure chests here where you can pick up items, and sometimes it's just gold, but sometimes you actually get new swords. I've only found swords so far, so I'm not sure if there's axes or anything, but I'm guessing it's just a variety of swords. And some of them have like special effects, like I mentioned, you know, shock effects, fire effects. So as we're collecting these blood things, we fill up our blood gun thing. We can spend those blood things to sort of recharge our health, or we can spend it on shooting the gun. So you kind of have a risk-reward situation, and at the end of the level, based on how much blood you've collected, is when you can spend those points. Another key element of this game is there's lots of things to smash. Pots, boxes, whatever. You can smash things like crazy. So that's basically, you know, that is what this game is. You kind of get these areas that you do these areas, then you go back to that main room again, and you spend your points, you upgrade whatever, you upgrade your weapons, and you do it again. And it's always different, but you see a lot of these areas over and over again, and you kind of, that's your gameplay loop. So in terms of purchasing the game, it's early access, and it is $20 US, so $19.99 US. I think that what I played here is totally awesome, and I 100% love this. I'm not going to say buy it, not buy it, because it is early access, and you know, make your own decision. But as you can see on screen here, you know, I'm clearly having a lot of fun. This is one of those kind of games you get in, play for, you know, as long as you want, and then get out, because these segments here, you know, you're always improving, but they're not long. You know, we're talking 10, 15-minute segments, and then you're back to that main room again, and it's doing a great job of saving. And because you're doing a great job of saving, you know, you feel so much like, okay, I'll play a little bit, get out of it. Play a little bit, get out of it. And if you're playing something else, if you're, you know, just wanting to relax, maybe you're on a tight schedule, this game does a great job of making you feel accomplishments for short periods of time. And because everything is so fast-paced, you know, you really feel like you've done a lot in that 15 minutes. You're not slowly walking around these levels. You're quickly busting through, killing everybody, and it feels so satisfying. So while we run through this gameplay here, I'm going to look at some of the things about the studio, because this studio is not a big studio at all. So the studio is MobX Games. They're actually based in Germany, and what happened was basically development started on May 2020, or in May 2020, when the first team member was hired. Then they say 7 months later, they had a team of 4 working on the prototype, which was then sent out and they got published. So that's kind of the backstory on how this came to be. It hasn't had a huge amount of development, so what is here already is very impressive, especially from such a small team. There's also a huge roadmap to this game where they have tons of updates planned, so look for more details on that if you want to find out more about what's coming next. For me, I think playing this game was just a blast of fun, and I know I keep saying blast of fun, but there's not too much I can really say about this that's not said by the gameplay itself. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this run through a lot, but I will mention now that at the end of this, you'll see me go back to the room, and I'll go through, and you'll see the skill spending stuff, and quickly show there's 3 points you can put skills into. One of them is sort of focusing on melee combat and health, so that's like your warrior one. But then you have the Vanguard one, which is the one I've been spending a lot of points into, which boosts your hook shot, boosts the blood points you're getting from deaths, and it also gives you more damage on your gun. I personally found this was the best way to spend my money because, I mean, it's easy to reheal your health, and obviously if you're getting more blood points at the start, it's going to be a lot easier for you to just sort of take out the enemies that you want to take out with the gun, and then slice up the little guys, because the little guys are easy to kill. These regular peon guys, they're just nothing. You just knock them right out. But then there's the last one, which is your dash one, which I guess is acrobatic or something. I forget what they call it. But that one's focused on, you know, making your dash faster and more beneficial. So I haven't spent any points in that one yet, but you know, depending on how you want to play the game, if you want to just go really fast, melee combat, how you want to do everything, you can sort of spend points in different directions, and you can spend them whatever you want. It seems to give you lots of points really easily, so that's not really an issue at all. But yeah, Everslaught, it definitely a cool game. Thanks for checking this out. I'm gonna keep running the gameplay there. We got about 5 minutes left, and like, comment, and subscribe if you like VR content and stuff. And if you want to hear more about this game, then feel free to ask me in the comments below, and I'll answer whatever. But I've played this for a couple hours already, and I mean, it's going to be this gameplay loop over and over again until I guess I reach a max level, which I'm not sure what the max level would be. Either way, definitely check this one out. I'm having a lot of trouble having fun with some of the newer games these days because I just, you get a point where you're just bored with some of this stuff, and I had a lot of fun with this one, so I will keep playing it. I'll keep having fun, and hope you guys do the same. I'm out of here.